can't even see you yet. They can't see you messing around with your mustache, your beard. That's just for me. That's all
Wait
that
for
is.
it. Wait for it.
No, it's not happening. It's never gonna happen.
Well, keep waiting, I suppose.
There you go.
Until
You're back.
then, too.
Perfect. Hey,
Happy to be here. Hey,
what
we
a fun
can.
start.
Yeah, it's a rolling start, a running start. But I'm here now, and hopefully the draft is working for you.
It's all working.
Okay,
Now
perfect.
we're killing it. Speaking of which, I gave the little shout out at the start. Loopbet, our sponsors, as well as Monster Energy. I forgot that I got a couple more of them into my little hammock from yesterday. So I'm
I
gonna
saw that.
pop one of
Okay.
these guys open and sort of gobble it down, make it
remaining.
happen. Man,
Wow.
Rubik Coddle Ember. Coddle Ember, it's the new hotness.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, we had talked about it yesterday on
Dire team ban.
2 different games, and then they were picked on opposing teams, a different game, possibly as a denial pick, but we were just talking about the strength of the mid to late game double slight because of the cooldown reduction. Even though Coddle's Chakra Magic got nerfed in 7.25b, it's still enough time. It still perfectly stacks with the 6-second cooldown of Sleight of Fist. So still very strong, and it's if they want to send it safe lane, and that's been Fnatic's, I guess, playbook over the past few days, is that their first phase will always have some flexibility. And right now, it's in the scope of their Ember Spirit either being a safe lane or a mid laner.
Yeah, it does reveal some of that, but I think who was it that was playing it yesterday that looked super good? I think Miracle looked really good at the start of the day. Even though I don't think they ended up winning that game. God, is this the new hero? So they do like Coddle Bristle for the lane and then Coddle Ember for the game. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Which it was T1. Wait, which team was having Febby stand in? Oh,
That
Geek
was
Fan?
TNC.
Oh, it's TNC, right.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then. Yeah, but Bristleback has been popular with multiple teams, and I think it's almost a Southeast Asia thing because I have not seen it in other regions yet. I don't think.
Well, yeah, I have seen though, and speaking about the differences in the meta, I have seen Coddle getting banned out first phase in a lot of other regions.
That's true. Yeah,
which is kind of interesting to me. That
maybe somewhat less prioritized here as a ban-worthy hero, whereas the other ones like Timbersaw seems to be consistently banned out. I don't know if that's just like against Ice specifically, or it's just because so many melee heroes, so many melee strength heroes are popular right now. Right. And it's probably part of the reason why Bristleback is proving to be relatively common, just because you never have to worry about Bristle. And the lane counters of there being like a Slark is second phase banned by Fnatic. Monkey King does not seem to be that popular. Ursa does not seem to be that popular. Razor does not seem to be that popular. So it seems like Bristleback can just go unpunished.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I like it. And I think that it's just like a darty hero to have to play against, right? Like it changes the way that you look at the game. You just like see this big hulking mass of spines running at your towers, running at you, and then like you can kind of it feels like you're almost playing around a tower. If you get too close, you're going to get burned and just blown up. And now they combo it together with the Dazzle. So this was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was like almost the exact same draft that we saw the other day, where it's like you have Bristleback that's there to like throw out a ton of damage, and then Dazzle is also around to like lower everybody's armor surrounding him.
Yeah, and they ended up picking up they had a Nyx Assassin as so they had a Storm Spirit and a Nyx Assassin, which would be the two differences on Fnatic's draft. They have an Ember Spirit instead of a Storm, which seems fine. And the Nyx Assassin was primarily picked because there was a Snapfire on Geek Fem's lineup, and there was the Ember Spirit on the Geek Fam lineup, which was another reason why the Nyx Assassin was very, very strong. And also maybe they just want to get rid of one of the options of Break against Bristleback, but I don't really think Fnatic can squeeze in a Nyx Assassin into this lineup. But I imagine they're probably looking for a 4 position, and they're going to make Ice play the Dazzle again.
Yeah, it could be that. And I think that they'd be fine with that if you're Fnatic. Like, I am loving this draft that Fnatic has. But that being said, Reality Rift has always been this type of team that has their own individual ideas of how they want to play the game. And I think Bane is one hero in particular that's kind of being slept on a little bit throughout the regions. Like he's very strong in the laning stage. He's also one of the heroes that forces a lane matchup to actually happen. You can't do that like wave pull back behind the tower bull malarkey that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like you keep that one away from there. So that's something that's a little bit nicer.
Fnatic's
Um,
turn to ban.
and they're gonna take the Shadow Fiend with it.
Well, okay.
Huh.
They don't. I mean, so we already saw Fnatic run a DJ Ember Spirit, so they don't have to run Ember Spirit mid. And so Reality Rift are kind of picking this SF blindly, technically,
Right.
but only because we've seen the flex potential from Fnatic. Most teams,
10
we would see
seconds
the Ember
remaining.
Spirit and pretty guaranteed that that's the mid lane matchup. But in this situation,
5
I would not be
seconds
surprised if
remaining.
they're like if Reality Rift don't ban a TA, I'm sure
Yeah.
Fnatic would be more than happy to pick that up because there is no real answer to TA at all on Reality Rift.
The only thing though is that pushes Dazzle to the support role, which I don't think I like it as much in with Coddle. To me, that feels like a very weird draft where your two supports like don't have any disable between them outside of
That's
ulti.
true. Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
so they would have to take like a core that has a lot of disable too, probably. And I think that Shadow Fiend has pretty good matchups against both Ember and Bristle. They're both melee heroes that, are probably likely to get raised.
Mm.
So that's the only thing about this
10
this
seconds
Shadow Fiend
remaining.
pick that I like is that it feels like he's almost guaranteed to have a pretty
5
good lane.
seconds remaining.
Or the draft from Fnatic is wonky and they figure out a way to make DJ a god on
Red team
Dazzle,
pick.
which I'm sure wouldn't be hard to do. They
Yeah,
banned the TA.
or they could even theoretically send Moon Dazzle mid, but I don't think you need to go that desperate. I don't really think that's necessary versus a Shadow Fiend. Reality Rift do ban out the TA though, so it seems like they are respecting Fnatic's wonky capabilities, and they're looking for their safe
10
lane carry.
seconds remaining.
Most likely going to be laning against the Dazzle.
5
That's the
seconds
things that
remaining.
we don't know if Fnatic are going to be picking a mid or an off lane or
Fnatic
a 4
turn to
position.
pick.
So they pick a Lifestealer, who's a hero we haven't seen at all yesterday. I don't know if you've
No.
seen Lifestealer during the first 2 days at all.
I don't think so, but he hasn't been played in some of the other regions as well.
Hmm. I am assuming that's just comfort because there doesn't seem to be like any real good reason to pick one.
10
You're
seconds
okay against
remaining.
Bristleback just because you don't necessarily get kited by the goo as much as some other melee heroes
5
would,
seconds
just
Right.
because you have
remaining.
rage, but you can't kill Bristleback very easily, unless if Bane gets a grip from a long ways away that he's
Right.
not getting tanking quill sprays, because otherwise there is not really many ways to force a Bristleback to look at a certain direction. We've been seeing Axe as one of the answers. We saw Lich as one of the answers. I think Coddle is even occasionally seen as an answer and slash denial pick, just to make sure that Bristleback does not get to turn his back all the time on all these carries who are trying to kill him. So I am assuming that it's primarily just a comfort thing for Reality Rift, and
Yeah.
now we just need to see what Fnatic want to turn this Ember Spirit into.
Well, and I think that's the one of the big things to watch for. Well, it's going to be a co-op, so they are going to swap it up
Select your
and
heroes.
run. Actually, it's probably going to be the DJ Ember, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Moon plays the co-op DJ Ember. He did this the other day, and he looked real freaking good on it. How good of a matchup is that? The Shadow Fiend versus Quap. Alacrity's a god. I'm sure he's fine. The other thing that I would mention about the Lifestealer is he inhabits that weird role now where he can be a carry that also is like not a defensive support necessarily, but has some save potential with the Infest heal that comes out. So that's kind of cool as well. I've seen a couple of nice moments with that.
Yeah, and against the thing is that I really like the Queen pick because it
10
adds a lot of
seconds
burst
remaining.
that Fnatic may have otherwise been lacking. Because technically, yeah,
5
usually whenever
seconds
teams
remaining.
are against something like a Bristleback, the fight kind of takes a while, and Lifestealer infesting into like a Shadow Fiend allows them to not only run away with the more move speed, but gets that regen. The only thing is that whenever you have to deal with burst damage like a Queen of Pain, you don't really get the luxury of using infest like a shallow grave to save someone at the last second. You kind of have to predict it really far in advance. Otherwise, the Sonic Wave may come out or Scream may come out. So I like the Queen of Pain pick a lot. The only thing is, yet again, we'll have to see how strong the Ember Spirit Dazzle lane will be. Last time, what were they laning against? It was the, let me see, Ember Spirit and Dazzle. Was that not Fnatic? I thought it was Fnatic.
That was Fnatic. It was Fnatic
Oh,
versus
it wasn't with the Dazzle. It was with
no.
the Nature's Prophet. That's what they
Right.
landed with. And so the way that I said that it worked is because Nature's Prophet is already such a strong laner by
Yeah.
himself that if you put any other hero with it, which in this case it was a 4-position Ember Spirit, obviously the lane's going to win.
Right.
In this case, it's going to be a Dazzle who is not quite as strong of a laner as a Nature's Prophet would be, but still very strong against a melee hero like a Lifestealer. So I still think that this Ember Spirit's going to be pretty farmed. Don't know if he's going to go for the same Spirit Vessel Meteor Hammer build that we saw, because Lifestealer is much better against that, but I have a lot of confidence in this DJ Ember Spirit.
Dude, he's definitely going to do it. Are you kidding me? If we don't see a Meteor Hammer on DJ, I'm going to lose my shit. It's going to be amazing.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
So he's going these boots first with the tangos. Dude, he's sleeping on the Bane. Watch out. All right, that was the last one. I'm sorry. It's the last one. Never again. No more. I feel like if you're
Jabs
Bane
enjoyed it.
Yeah, he liked it a lot. That is the haha emote is Coddle himself. Oh, he took brain sap though. Oh, come on, man. Well, I mean, it's understandable.
Yeah.
Oh. They do have the potential to set up for a kill here. I'm wondering, yeah, KOXY, he's going to move on in and just get a couple of stacks of Retaliate before he heads out. I did see a Centaur one time do this without Retaliate skilled. It was pretty great.
Dude, maybe that's like the mind games, because then they're like, oh, we can get the bounty runes now because he's skilled up Retaliate, and then boom, hoof stomp stun, and you're like, what? But he tanked the tower.
Yeah, that's the real dream right there. And that just like, it would tilt you, so badly, I'm sure.
For sure.
Ice, he's got himself the headdress already. Yeah, I guess that because Nuts skills up the brain sap right there, he's not going to be able to come over and contest to like stop the wave pulls that come from DJ. That being said, taking Nightmare level 1, it kind of sucks anyways, so it's probably not the biggest deal in the world. Jabs.
Yeah, I guess it just means that Nuts is actually going to be like laning, and he doesn't really care if someone cuts the wave. He just wants to make sure that his Lifestealer can farm comfortably.
Yeah. True enough. Well, Jabs and Hustler facing off against each other. Gets the Blinding Light pushback, which means he can trade a little bit more effectively. I was trying to pull him in. 2 potential Cliffers here with the Rubik and the Coddle, but Rubik only having that Fade Bolt level 1. It's not really going to be super possible. It's DJ. He's here to trade right clicks with. Like, 57 base damage isn't too bad. He's got 2 armor. I guess Bane's like way better with 5 armor. That stuff's crazy.
Yeah, Bane is just like one of the most intimidating. Like, this is what you were saying, that he's just such a strong laner. That I agree that he's kind of underrated right now a little bit in the meta, but he is kind of slow, and it's not just because he's lacking boots, but also he's like very level dependent compared to other supports. Right. So I think that unless if you're willing to enable a Bane, then it's not really worth it just for his strong lane presence.
Yeah, agreed. You need to get it somewhat later in the draft than you would other times, because there are a lot of things that can, mess with them. Like, Global Silence is really annoying. They do get level 2 usage of chains onto Nuts and force him to use a TP back to base.
Yep. Leveling up this Dazzle quite a bit. Like, again, I think all he cares about is just making sure that Drew is farming comfortably, which so far he is. Actually kind of playing a little bit aggressively against Ice. But he's got Tangos and Fairy Fires, and I'm curious what his build is going to be this game. You're laning up against a Bristleback, or not laning up against a Bristleback, but you're going to be against a Bristleback and a Dazzle, which is a lot of minus armor. And so far he has the armlet queued up. I think that's a good idea. But I don't think he can go for like a Maelstrom or a Radiance this game. He just needs to start continuously building armor. Hopefully someone on his team maybe gets like a Medallion or a Solar Crest as well.
Yeah. Well, and hypothetically, you could see like Shadow Fiend go for more of a right-click oriented build and then get like AC or something for himself, and that would help. But yeah, I like the idea of just sort of tanking up and trying to survive through it, because the damage, it feels like it might end up falling off later, right? You've got Bristleback main core, you've got Quap, so it's like it's sort of I don't know, there's like a cap to it, right? It's not super like right click oriented. It's more spell damage focused.
Yeah, and yesterday it was very important who had stronger turnaround potential, stronger comeback potential. And in this game, it's definitely possible that Reality Rift have that stronger comeback potential just because there, like you said, is a cap and a limit on how strong Fnatic can get before they're start falling off a little bit. As now Drew,
he's just dead.
Yep.
Oh man, and they give the first blood to DJ. That is big. Dude, enabling the Ember this much. He's got 600 golds on top of Boots already.
Yeah, he's going to have that earn super fast.
You know, I will mention a lot of talk has been sort of going around, it feels like, of these kill streaks and what's been going on. And we saw a ton of those comebacks that we saw just the other day in the 3 best of 3s that we had. There were at least 2 of them that was like 20,000 net worth lead or something like that. Afterwards, I was tweeting about it, and Knoxville put out a tweet that was saying that this match actually has, or this patch rather, has one of the highest ratios of like matches to comebacks out of any. It's like the 3rd highest for the and that's just based upon like the ratio of games played to games that were a comeback. And a lot of it has to be about that kill streak thing. So I'm thinking about like giving a lot of kills to DJ, giving a lot of kills to any supports that have the potential to die. It's really dangerous nowadays.
Yeah, it's more of a liability almost to have these unimportant heroes, so to speak, get the long streaks, because they're also more likely to just randomly die because they're not going to build BKBs and stuff like that. As Nuts taking quite a bit of abuse from this Dazzle and Ember.
That was cool though. He pushed him up, blinded lighted him into the Ancients. Does look like he might get this kill on the Courier. Not quite going to be there in time. And they get another blinding light pushback, but in some trouble. Jabs lifted, stomped, connecting, a couple more punches. Jabs is done.
Thankfully, 23 Savage can just face tank all these creeps. I think he's just going to try to cut them off to make sure that Centaur can't steal this entire wave, but he's just going to kill the entire wave in between the tier 1 and tier 2. And actually inadvertently ends up stacking Ancients for Fnatic.
Okay. That's cool.
23 Savage is going to like that.
Nuts, meanwhile, in some trouble, trying to go for the deny. Not going to happen. DJ, he's building up that streak. Be careful, buddy.
Oh wow, he went for the arcane boots instead. So I guess he's not really going to roam around too much. I think he and the Dazzler are just going to keep on bullying this Bane and Lifestealer.
Yeah, that's what he.
Which at this point, it kind of like the advantage of having a Bane in lane has kind of fallen off. He's got 2 points in brain side, but you're against a lane matchup that also heals itself automatically. So a Dazzle with 2 points in Shadow Wave is more than happy to trade with a Bane.
Yeah, this is really interesting though, because like this is what we saw the other day from his position for Ember, was he had the arcane boots queued up after he got the urn, but because they can apply this much pressure to Drew, like I'm wondering if Drew just needs to think about heading off to the jungle or something, because he is not going to be able to get that much out of this lane at this point.
Yeah, and he has 3 points in Feast, so it's not really that big of a sacrifice for him to move over. I think the only problem is that no one can really take over this lane. If he leaves, then no one's going to be in the lane. Centaur can't do it. Shadow Fiend doesn't want to do it. And any of the supports that show up, like, I don't even know if they'll be able to stay in experience range even. So I think he's just kind of the only person capable of staying here.
Okay.
Or maybe even he's not able to stay here. He's just continuously getting bullied out.
Yeah, like this is just with Ice 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 here. Like that's not even with DJ running around. Moon in the meantime, gonna take a little walk. No boots yet, but checking for any stacks. And I guess also getting down that ward in an area where Alacrity is eventually going to retreat to. So setting up for a future kill. We'll keep our eyes on that one.
Rubik getting closed in on by this Ember. And I think Hustler may be dead.
Yeah, super duper easy. And they leave that kill over for 23 Savage to get. Meanwhile, Ice 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 gives a little ring around the rosy. Some extra damage out there onto Drew. And now with Mr. DJ showing back up again, they got to be careful.
I think this ward spotted him out, so hopefully Drew won't get caught by surprise. Oh, that's unlucky.
That was really... Well, he still has the rage anyways, so doesn't mean that Drew's able to hold off on using the rage, and he can stay here a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Stampede, bottom lane, going on to 1. Poor old 23 Savage gonna get taken down by the DD Alacrity Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, there's a surprising amount of Radiant Vision in the bot lane, and yet that still happens. I guess yeah, I don't really know how Alacrity managed to slip by all of these wards and managed to kill 23 Savage.
Invis rooted, pull back in, Hustler gonna go down.
Deny?
Oh,
Nice.
that's unfortunate there. Now DJ, he has to be careful. Doesn't have any points up in Flame Guard at all, and this is a DDSF. Sleight of Fist as well as the chains. Nah, he's just dead. So a couple quick, good rotations and Alacrity. Able to get 3 kills with one of them being a deny on a teammate.
Yeah, I guess that does count as a kill technically.
Right? Does he get souls for that? I feel like he should.
Yeah, he does. But I don't think he gets hero souls. I think he just gets like a unit's worth, but I'm not actually sure. It's a good question.
Okay. I think he has full souls anyways.
Yeah, he does. Now Nuts starts heading down to the bot lane. This Nightmare gets taken off by the Coddle, but he can't get the kill.
Unfortunate for them. More stacks going on. Bristleback just took out the Ancients as DJ moving into position, trying to get the slight chains off onto Hustler. Throws out the Sonic Wave. And it does look like DJ almost going down, but Alacrity quite gonna go for it there.
Yeah, well, the E-Raise was on cooldown. I wonder if Alacrity was actually in the jungle in the meanwhile, and he just TP'd to the tier 1 just because that rotation was happening, because he should have been able to triple raise, but his E-Raise was on like a 2-second cooldown.
I guess so. Frustrating.
10-minute coming up soon. We'll see if there's any outpost challenges. So far it's still 1-1. And it doesn't look like Ice is in position, so I guess it's just going to stay that way.
Yeah. Not we're able to get over there quickly enough.
Dude,
4
there's
heroes.
so many defensive Radiant wards. I'm very surprised. This one down here is going to time out now, but there were 3 wards on their own side of the jungle.
Yeah. Well, I think it kind of, I don't know. Actually, I don't know about that one. Maybe they think that like we can just keep farming up. And I guess, you know, we're talking about the sort of late game potential of Reality Rift, but if you have a position for Ember who's had a hot start like this, I don't know if you actually do have the better late game on Reality Rift, particularly if you're like falling behind. This Lifestealer really just has not been able to have a great game so far.
The only reason I'm not as encouraged is because Lifestealer is just a good matchup against this 4-position Ember. There's not much that he needs to be afraid of. The Meteor Hammer combo is not going to be that big of a concern. Spear Vessel is not going to be that big of a concern.
Right.
And even the Roots won't be that big of a concern as he infests into a Siege Creep.
Well, KYXY and Alacrity going to clear through these Ancients here. Ice continuing to spam out the Poison Touch over and over again and keeping the double Sage's Mask in here for just the maximum mana regen. So Fnatic having a nice little start for themselves, but signs of life here, particularly the Alacrity Shadow Fiend and the Centaur, who are both having a very good game so far.
Yeah, and they're starting to apply a fair amount of pressure to this tier 2. May even start to challenge Jabs, who only has 1 point in Illuminate, although he does have the Will-O-Wisp available if they want to go for a team fight, but I think until Ice finishes off this top tier 1, he's not going to move. It's mainly just going to be the Queen of Pain and this Bristleback.
Like, look at Drew. He's like off in the jungle trying to soak up experience from the Bristleback taking it. This is a sad time for him. Moon wants to hold off, see if he can keep this tower from going down, but I mean, with the Retaliate coming in, with Alacrity punching, oh my god, Moon's crazy.
Whoa.
What are you doing, my man? Okay, Will-O-Wisp down, Stampede's already been used, and they're just gonna take the kill on Jabs, but Moon, crazy as all hell.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend, like, if that Will-O-Wisp did not come out, he was going to get the 3rd raise off and kill off Queen of Pain, so very aggressive blink. For what reason, I'm not quite sure.
I guess he maybe thought that everybody else bounced or something?
Yeah, maybe.
DJ getting Remnant stolen, so Hustler.
Yeah.
It's a nice pickup for him as back in the jungle. 23 Savage, I mean, he's fully surrounded here, but they're kind of in an awkward spot. They have Grave available if they need it in 7 seconds, and everybody from Reality Lift is just dropping down, although is it going to be quick enough? Nuts, they're chasing, they want to kill Alacrity. He is still bottling through all of this, and they don't have enough damage for him. They will get the kill into Nuts. Like, I'm sure that Fnatic did way more damage in that fight, but they managed to come out with the kill on to the Bristle.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Grave wasn't available, and Ice was still kind of playing a little bit far back. This is the problem with going for such a lane-heavy build as the Dazzle has, with 4 points in Poison Touch, but only 2 in Shadow Wave and 1 in Shallow Grave. And it was on cooldown because he had used it on Moon after that Will-O-Wisp team fight where he aggressively blinked in because he wasn't sure if Shadow Thing was in range for a 3rd raise or not. So he graved there, and it's basically an ultimate. Even with bad Juju, it's still a 45-second long cooldown, and so not able to save the Bristleback.
At least for now. Dude needs to get some more points up in it. That'll probably be a little bit better for him. But yeah, it's kind of crazy though. That Fnatic lineup almost did double the damage that Reality Rift did in the fight, but they end up losing it. But it's kind of, I think if you're Fnatic, you got to be a little bit encouraged by that in a way, right? Like that was with basically Bristleback versus the world. If you're actually all in position, it looks like they have the potential to take an engagement.
And he also was primarily building out magic resistance as opposed to physical damage resistance, so he has the full hood completed, but he's hoping to work his way to a Solar Crest, and at that point, that means that Shadow Fiend will probably do much less damage, because I don't think Alacrity got that many raises off. He was basically melee ranged attacking the front of the Bristleback, which, you know, that's the ideal situation, is that, well, Nightmare on the Moon, but no Fiend Grip available.
They've got Alacrity in the area. Raze only hits there onto 1. Blinding Light pushback. They jump in with Hustle, gonna be able to get the pull, but that gets the stun onto Moon afterwards. Will-O-Wisp down. Whoa. Is it gonna be quite enough though? What?
That's unlucky timing.
Where is DJ's over here? He still has Slight, Chains, and a Remnant.
Oh yeah, he wants to fight. I assure you, 23 Savage would not be jumping in here if they were retreating.
Moon has ulti back up in 7 seconds. We've got Dazzle, who just graved himself while he's missing like 200 HP or something.
Yeah, SS has been doing a lot of early graves recently.
That's fine, I'm sure. Get as many spells as you can, get that bad Juju working. Jump forward, seeing what they can do. Big old bit of damage coming out. Hustler there as well. Sonic Wave available now if they want to use it. Fear for the moment. Pushback onto 2. Pretty as pie, my god. It's KYXY wants the kill on the DJ, will not find it, and Reality Rift might end up losing all 5 heroes, possibly. Not gonna get there, I don't think. It just shows him who's boss of that medallion.
Yeah, that's the power of 23 Savage, which is what they were hoping for in the first fight. But that last time it was the Bristleback versus the world. This time it was a fair 5-on-5 engagement, pretty much. And yeah, that's an unfortunate turn of events. I don't think the pause really could have affected that much. The team fight was pretty straightforward for Fnatic.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, the Will-O-Wisp was already down. Reality Rift were obviously going to go for it, as Jab's trying to take this outpost. He may pay for with his life. But yeah, very, very strong team fight from Fnatic, and this is a huge. This is the main power spike for the Bristleback, so unsurprising that they won it.
Yeah. He's playing with fire a little bit up here, but I guess that with the rest of his team connecting, it's too difficult to get an angle on him. Yeah, this Bane, like you're talking about, it's sort of very strong in the landing stage, kind of turning into a bit of a liability here as he's been able to get some of the Fiend's grips off, but he keeps Fiend's gripping the Bristle, which is like, I don't think that's the play.
It's the only thing that they can do to make the Bristle face a direction, though.
Yeah,
so that's why
true.
There's no choice, because anything else, the Bristle's just going to keep dancing around the Lifestealer. Lifestealer's not going to do a whole heck of a lot of damage. Shadow Fiend can't get raises properly off, and so Bane kind of just has to tank it. And even though the Fiend's grip itself as a disable isn't going to be that good, it'll buy a little bit of time to force Bristle to look a certain way.
Oh, DJ showing up, finding 1. That's poor old Bane, silenced and dead. Did manage to get the D ward before he went down all the way. Looking for somebody, but Hustla is off on the other side, and will be able to make his way out of there with the TP as well. Back towards mid lane. 23 Savage, Alacrity there. Nah, they can't get him.
Drew's just like cutting the wave with 4 Fnatic heroes down here. What a boss.
This guy's a player. He knows what's up. He's going to take over mid, too.
He's going to cut mid? Yeah, I think it's...
No, he's going to farm.
No, okay. Not quite the stack, but still pretty sick.
Well, he may be able to cut bottom, but at least for the moment, it is mid where they're going to be trying to take down this tower. Rooted. Got to be careful. Orchid is still nearby if they want to use it. So much damage over time coming out. Alacrity standing tall right in the middle of all of them. Going to open up onto Ice. The big bold jump, able to find that finish. Gets the kill there. Can they find any more? They got the actually stolen Will-O-Wisp. They have to walk around the other side of it. They've already lost the Bristleback and the Dazzle. Now if you're Fnatic, you need to get the hell out of here.
What a pretty Requiem. What a great debut of the Shadow Blade. He was waiting for his moment. Ice inadvertently walks right into his waiting arms and face tanks a full Requiem all by himself. And without the Dazzle, then all of a sudden the Bristleback becomes that much more vulnerable. Forget the Grave, but even the extended team fight of being able to constantly Shadow Wave him, have that mech aura, and I think they'd already used the mech active, but still, Orchid on Vayne.
Got him caught for the moment, trying to run him down, and Nuts, he is deniable, but I think that there's still maybe chance, possibly. No, he's dead. He's super dead. It's like, I thought he was
cool,
TP'd
though.
for a second. I was like, oh, maybe that'll work. I don't know. You can see the odds right now favoring Fnatic quite heavily.
Oh yeah, and then the other thing in that fight, as we see Centaur, probably TP, yeah.
These Graves are
Oh
so
my god.
funny.
Yeah, I don't know why Ice keeps doing it so early. There's no burst damage on the side of Reality Rift. At most, it's triple
for
raise,
bad
but
juju,
you should
I
be
think.
able to react to that.
It's bad juju.
Yeah.
That's the reason he's doing it, I think.
I mean, is it really worth -2 armor to blow a 37 seconds cooldown?
I mean, probably not, but you know, he's Ice. He's gonna do what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
I think if he got like 4 points in it, it'd be like way more worth it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'd totally be down for that. But at level 1, I think it's a bit overeager.
Well, 19-minute mark. It's a 2,000 gold lead as they finish off Roche and holding on to both outposts. Reality Rift needing to find some way to get their footing in this game, and it's never felt like they've really been on top of it. You know, some of this is just the laning stage not going the way that they wanted, but whatever the case, the best thing that they've got is this Alacrity Shadow Blade, which they now know about. So you're going to be seeing Fnatic show up with a lot of sentries, I would imagine.
Yeah, and we'll see if Ice is interested. So far, he's finishing up the Greaves, but this kind of justifies the idea of going for a level 3 Necrobook, as they're trying to track down Nuts.
They're going to get this outpost in time. So no
It'll be a 1-1
outpost.
split. No, they have the top dire one.
Oh, you're right. Not bad.
And 2 for 2 bounty runes as well.
All right, that works. Reality Rift finding something for themselves. Moon is smoked and should realize. Oh my god, do you see him? I think he knows. Oh, he doesn't.
He doesn't have any detection though, so he can't keep track of Alacrity. Meanwhile, smoke up on Reality Rift all the way from the bot lane. See a courier? Will they kill it? No, they want something bigger.
They would have chased. They would have found Moon. Drew realizes, and now they see DJ. Oh god, this one's bad. It's so bad. This one's so bad. Oh, poor Hustler. I think he's dead now. Yeah, he's going down. Frustrating, I'm sure. Oh,
Whoa,
Moon.
Moon.
Dude, he's like, you don't get to farm anything. You don't get to do anything. Alacrity, he's going for it. He wants it. He wants it real bad. Requiem. He's not getting it up right.
Stream.
Oh god. Now they realize.
Yeah, it was
There's
worth
that
a shot.
sentry ward right over there, so I think they saw him run that direction. And now they found KYXY. It's a little bit of indecision, a little bit of not quite in the right position. Nuts, he has his ulti if they want to use it. Jab's running away to the other side. He's hanging on for the moment. Nuts can't go for this until he sees the Will-O-Wisp. Now he has it, but the Lion Light pushback means he just has to grip the Coddle. And that's not going to be enough. Orchid to break it. Dude, like, it's so hard to play Bane against this Coddle.
Yeah. There's just, I mean, there are a lot of cancel potential in general, because the slight chains is also a really long range way to do it.
It doesn't cancel anymore, right? This is the Rudy route.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. It's only a TP cancel. Well, whatever the case, it's very like, this is not a fun Bane game for sure.
Sucks booty. It ain't fun. Oh, silence. No. Oh god, runaway life stealer. He's in a little bit. Okay, he's fine now. Well, Illusion Rune
Russell has Sonic Wave,
He's
but
thinking.
Fnatic are just so stacked right now.
Yeah, they don't really feel that under pressure. But yeah, the Sonic Wave is there from the Rubik if they want to use it, but it will not save KYXY. On the other side of the map, like Alacrity just now TP's back in. Sleep rooted over on the other side. Alacrity.
Alacrity has his BKB. He really wants that Requiem initiation.
That's too scary. All right, turn now onto Moon, wanting to go for it. Sonic Wave finds the kill. Also the fear. They take down the Bristle, but it's only one time. Can they get him a second time? No Moon for this fight. Rooted off to the side. Japs, he doesn't have much. He has a 4-step if he can get in range, but it's not going to be there. And Ice actually blinks in aggressively.
And doesn't grave.
Dude, you cast that ability so many times. How are you going to not grave now? What the hell?
I don't think it would have made too much of a difference because I don't think that there were that many Quill Spray stacks, but he did end up suiciding basically just to attempt to grave. So, yeah, wow, fantastic turnaround for Reality Rift. They managed to catch Fnatic going way too aggressive. That Queen of Pain blinks in, Alacrity ready to BKB Requiem, and the second life of Bristleback is just completely wasted deep behind enemy territory.
Dude, look at these... Like these graphs.
Most comeback patch, baby.
It really is. Like, at least in terms of experience, that's pretty pronounced.
How many sprees ended? So an 8x spree goes the way of a Rubik. The Bristleback.
The Moon goes.
Yeah, I think it was just the Queen of Pain. Actually, that's surprising. I thought it was more streaks, but that was the only one. So
well,
not as big of a penalty.
DJ
that's true. DJ did get out.
Although he doesn't have one either, actually. But I don't know. It's just so crazy. Like, I guess they weren't leading that much. They didn't even get a tier 3 tower. Like, I don't know what the hell Fnatic were thinking right there. That was insane. They just like ran in one by one with no ultimates. And they're like, all right, this will be fine, I'm sure. Regardless, Reality Rift getting some life. Signs of life indeed.
Also, quick shout out to Ice's neutral item. Trusty Shovel's one of the best neutral items on Dazzle because Bad Juju reduces the cooldown of it. So he's been holding on to that. He has 6 TP scrolls. I imagine he's probably been picking up a handful of bounty runes as well.
I like that.
It's a great neutral item.
Well, they're walking high ground with no vision. A dangerous proposition even at the best of times. They take down that ward, spot him over on the other side of it. They get 23 Savage. BKB is there thinking about going for the Requiem. Cancels it out afterwards, though. And the Fiend's Grip just going to walk right on top of him. Oh, no! With the Will-O-Wisp, that keeps him alive. And now 23 Savage turns to fight. Alacrity finally going to go for this. But Moon is on top of him with the BKB. The Bristleback is there as well. And in the end, they will lose that engagement. Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, part of them losing that high ground fight was because I don't think that they knew that Shadow Fiend had his BKB completed. I mean, they saw it because it was that fight, but they didn't really see the power of it. And so that BKB reveal was critical because as you saw during this fight, as soon as Alacrity pops the BKB, everyone evacuates.
Oh, and unfortunately, KYXY just getting that repair kit as the tier 3 tower finished. He was switching it into his inventory. Meanwhile, the silence there onto 2. So much minus armor is going to be dealt out there. Bristleback still living through this. Not too afraid at all. Drew is caught. His armor is dropping so rapidly. And, well, one last time, the Queen is going to scream in his ear. Find that kill as well. They're repair kitting the tier 4 towers for some reason. But
he wants the multi-shot, I think.
That doesn't work.
Wait, you don't get the multi-shot if it's not an active tower?
Well, no, if it's not a tower, you don't get it on repair kit anymore.
Wait, what? Really? The tooltip says you get multi-shot attacks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't anymore. It's okay. It's in beta. Yeah, because I think that it says it on the effect, but it doesn't say it on the item itself anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
It says it on this one.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's not. Well then, definitely excessive. And at this point, Dazzle has the maxed out Shallow Grave, so I'm more than happy for him to spend it on high HP targets just to get more bad juju because there, yeah, like you said, there's just so much minus armor.
Now, Alacrity trying to run and hide and get away from here. He doesn't want to be here anymore. They get the last of the, well, they're actually just going to back out here. I thought they were going to go for the final range racks, but Fnatic Feeling confident to just retreat, wait for the next Aegis. Roche capable of responding 5 seconds away. See if it's a quick one or if it's take a little bit longer, but I think right now Fnatic would be fairly confident just walking into the pit. 14 seconds, that's a quick one.
Wow, that's very fortunate for them. They could challenge it. Reality Rift, they have the BKB and the Requiem on Alacrity. They have Stampede. And it's not like their lanes are massively pushed in. And so I think it's in their best interest to challenge this, but the hard part is just managing to make their way over the river to even get some vision down.
They're going to scan Roche right now, and they had just checked Roche. Now Moon's going to walk back in, check it a second time. It's like, hey, it's there. Bristol had just checked it a second ago, and now they realize that they can go for this if they want to. The unfortunate thing is that Reality Rift had just scanned that area. So we'll see if Fnatic opting to go for this fight or not. Yeah, they're just going to walk right in. Ice is like, whatever, we can do it.
See if KYXY feels confident enough to walk into the pit. There's no vision whatsoever. They feel so scared.
That's the thing. It's
but
like,
I don't think they win the game if they don't take the Roche. Okay, they're smoking up now.
Yeah, they should realize. The unfortunate thing is that scan hit like a second before Moon went in to check it. And now they just get Roche and Reality Rift. You just got to feel so terrible right now if you're them.
Yeah.
Although maybe they can set up for like some type of a fight over here on this ward that they've got. This is probably their best chance that they've got, because even holding high ground isn't really going to work that well. Alacrity can go out for a Silver Edge punch maybe, or just like ulti. I don't know.
The thing is, the Fnatic.
Okay, that's not great. Oh, Will-O-Wisp stolen. Okay, possibly a chance. They've got to trump in. Coddle is down low, but Grave living for the moment. KYXY. They turn onto Moon and kill off the Queen of Pain as well. Buyback comes out from the Quap. BKB. Oh, but the disarm came out beforehand. DJ trying to run away from this one. They are continuing the chase. Pops his dust, turns to fight. They get the chains onto one. Alacrity trying to run away, but it is not looking like it is going to happen. Broken, turned around upon, and killed off. Queen
They're
of
just going to go for tier 4s. No buyback available on the Shadow Fiend. Definitely worth the buyback on the Queen of Pain. And True trying his damnedest to slow down this tier 2 push, but they're just going to end the game.
There's not really a whole lot that you can do here. Drew trying to get out.
Fest.
Oh,
Run!
Like,
Run! Look at that creep go. 541 move speed.
What a hero. Alright, well, in the meantime, is DJ gonna die here? Doesn't quite look like it. If they can get into range with Drew. Nope, he just runs away. Ice continuing to be a pest. The Blink Greaves, Holy Locket. And this man won't stop digging for nobody.
Well, they're going to go for Megas. And Shadow Fiend, even though he is down 2 Raxes, technically that means that he's going to be able to pick up some souls quicker from his top and mid lane, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. This Dragon Scale Aegis Bristleback is past the point of no return.
Absolutely. They just did not have the heroes that they need to try and deal with this right now. And they're going to punch into him a few more times, but as they hit, Broken. Oh, Ray's not going to be on the mark. Rooted for the second. And Moon getting ready to jump in, holding on for that Orchid, not opting to go for it yet. Does have the cheese. Oh, the Son of the Grave is there, though, and she's got cheese afterwards. Moon's going to be fine here as she jumps away. Jumps in with DJ also over onto Hustla. Will-O-Wisp down. Drew trying to punch DJ. Can they kill him off? Another round and another hit from that Will-O-Wisp as KYXY holding the Lifestealer inside of him is just trying to not lose the game. But I think in the end, it is not going to matter. Coddle gets graved again. And now he's just trying to walk away. Has a Glimmer Cape and a salve. Does he live? No. Meanwhile, SF, he's also going to die. The GG's finally called. We knew it was coming. It was just too much.
What a GG!
Yeah.
Shocker.
Shocking. Oh, Moon.
Oh,
come on,
with
quick,
the Sonic Wave at the very end. Yeah. That's a moral victory.
Exactly. Neil, that was kind of a beatdown.
It was. I'll have to look at the graphs, but I don't think there was much of a point at which there was any net worth advantage. There was a slight net worth advantage at 18 minutes in the favor of Reality Rift, but yeah, I can start to see some of the shortcomings of having a Bane for sure. no one really expects to have to lane up against a 4-position Ember Spirit, sure. But now against Fnatic, you basically always have to consider it. Honestly, it may be more likely that it's going to be a DJ Ember Spirit than a Moon Ember Spirit at this point.
Honestly, you're right. I completely agree with that. Now the thing that's always so weird about this Southeast Asia region, or just any region in general, if we're going to be honest about it, Reality Rift spanked Boom day 2 of this tournament, and then Boom beat down TNC day 3 of this tournament, and now Reality Rift are going to be beating, or rather are getting completely destroyed by Fnatic. So I don't know what information we can glean from this, except that it seems like Fnatic is pretty freaking good.
Yeah, there's usually like a rock paper scissors type thing for
Right.
like a couple of teams in Southeast Asia, but it seems that Fnatic are above and beyond that, which is rare because usually it's the top 3 teams that are frequently cycling around. But it may be that Fnatic are finally able to establish themselves like how VP did in CIS, that they're like the top dogs, and then everyone else from 2nd to 4th place is kind of competing amongst themselves. But right now, Fnatic are just looking beyond
Beyond
all
godlike.
beyond godlike for sure.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick break. Stick around. We've got game 2 of Fnatic facing off against Reality Rift right after this.